Welcome back to the Why So Serious podcast. I'm your host, Brandon, and we are back with our Game of Thrones crew, but our augmented Game of Thrones crew, because we got my man Rashanii here. What's going on, man? Rashanii?
You meant to play all the music while you were talking, right? Like, that was the reason why I couldn't hear jack shit you were saying, because you were blasting that music hella loud in my ear while you were talking.
That's
I think
right.
I heard my name, but at the same time, I'm not quite sure because you were blasting music. See, the music at the beginning of your episode was a hell of a lot like the darkness at the beginning of the Game of Thrones episode 3. So I'm not quite sure if you were talking to me, because I'm not quite sure where the fuck the Dothraki went, but what's happening? What's happening?
Oh, hey, all I would say to you, sir, is that your TV settings were off because I watched.
Nigga, my TV costs more than your car.
I'm sorry.
I feel like I got TV privilege because I watched that shit.
My TV costs so much that I had to make an explanation to my mother-in-law about why I bought my TV instead of buying other stuff that she recommended.
I said the settings. I just said the settings.
My
sir.
TV isn't even 4K. My TV is BDE. It has big dick energy. It radiates. And the settings were set by niggas that I paid. So I brought in indentured servants to set my shit up correctly.
See what you
and
did,
it's still look. Hey yo, I'm Rashanii. So here's the thing.
Oh god.
The beginning of the Game of Thrones episode looked like if you ran into a cotton towel that you could see through because it was kind of like frail and it was used and it was threadbare and all that. But then somebody turned the lights out. So now you're running through a cotton dust ball and nobody can see through it from the top, but you can see what's happening in front of you, and it was just splotches. It's just splotches all over the place. I could see what was going on because a nigga has sight beyond sight like Lion-O and shit.
Okay.
But other people who I know personally weren't able to experience the same vision that I had, and they weren't very happy with that beginning.
Listen, I got TV privilege because I watched this in 4K Dolby Vision on my Apple TV 4K, and that shit was beautiful. I could see everything. I saw them lights lit up. That torch was in the sky. Man, when they ran towards the thing, everybody was like, "What did they run into?" I saw that shit clear as day. It was a bunch of dead as a big ass wall standing there.
That shit was crazy. Hey,
well, then I guess I'm representing for all the niggas all across the world who got this from their mama's HBO Go account that was already slowed down to like measly numbers because every nigga in the world was using their mamas or their girlfriends or their baby mama or their baby daddy's HBO Go account at the same time.
Well,
so Stephanie's here too.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
And Devin's here. Hopefully, Lauren and Sharmane will join us sometime in the middle of this episode.
I don't know. Because they ain't enough fighting for me in this episode. It's just fighting.
You brought this energy out of Rashanii.
Whoop, whoop.
It's on you. Steph, what do you think about this?
I have that effect on people, especially when we're all in the same mindset. She wants to talk about Thotton. I just feel like niggas got fucked. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean, look, somebody, at least Arya got some dick last week because after this, he's like, I don't want none of this sweaty, nasty, salty dick.
I didn't even see Gendry.
He was there. I saw Gendry.
I saw Gendry.
Once he woke up.
Look here. She wore them walls out.
So I didn't even get to get a synopsis.
Nah, she was still awake. She wore him the fuck out. He didn't do shit, and she was just sitting there like...
That's why I said she wore them walls out.
Exactly. She was sitting there like a girl got needs.
Well, that's what happens. You know, for female athletes, they got to get sex before because that gives them energy. For men, that wears them out.
She was like a girl has no orgasm.
Oh, I think
that's
because
it's the first time. The first time is always terrible.
Oh, yeah.
No, the fuck.
So this episode is called The Long Night. It was an hour and 22 minutes long. The Night King and his army has arrived at Winterfell. What a shitty synopsis. Devin.
That's really all that needed to be said. Niggas was going to watch it regardless. It could have said the Night King goes to the Waffle House.
We need no synopsis. It's like niggas dying. The end.
This is literally All this announcement needed to be was the end of Too Short's The Ghetto, where that old man stood up and said, "Niggas watch, niggas die."
Oh.
The references, man.
They're good.
Devin, what'd you think about this episode?
I loved it. The second watching was better than the first. It was real clean, and I got to hear, when you hear their eyes open when the Night King brings them back to life, the chills I got, because I was watching it on my daddy surround sound shit, and he spent the money. He spent the money.
Money.
It was definitely worth it. A lot of bloody, a lot of death. I had some questions. We'll get into it later, but I got questions.
You actually did work this time for the show?
Oh, I prepared. I wrote notes. I was so proud of myself.
He wrote notes.
I'm proud of him too.
Look at that. Come on, notes.
It never happened, so I'm proud of him.
Like this is church. Take your notes. Taking notes during a sermon.
Look, Brandon send show notes, and I'm not giving a fuck. I look at them like, oh, okay, great.
I'm proud of you, 3,000.
Don't try to make me cry.
That's not this episode, dude. Don't do that.
All right, let's get into the show. So the show opened, and they had a new theme opening. So the snow on the ground was flipping over tiles into ice for everywhere the Night King and his army had been. And so they showed past the Umber's place, and that shit was all blue. I was like, damn, all them niggas is part of the army. They all did. So that was cool. I love how they've been editing these show opens every week for the new season, which is really cool. So the show starts from like Sam's perspective, and Sam was running around like looking scared as shit. He looked like he was like in the waiting room after he just got an STD test, and he's like waiting on the results.
Nigga.
Like just nervous.
He's kind of visual.
Those type of comparisons are my job, sir.
Alter.
Like, stop. You Rashanii this up, man.
That's what he looked like to me. He was nervous as hell.
He was nervous as shit, though. You definitely saw it in his face.
So he
got his punk ass down there to the crib. First of all, the nigga gave his sword to Jorah. Why the fuck you still out there? What the fuck you gonna do?
This is correct.
The fuck you gonna do? Read Goodnight Moon, nigga? You gave up your only
killed
weapon.
a White Walker. He was the first one. Look,
and
y'all need him.
He killed the Finn.
Yep.
See, I don't give a fuck.
I don't. Look, y'all gonna stop counting my fluff badass out. Look at here. Look.
Yo, you know about that life though. Like...
Look. The nigga killed one nigga. The nigga killed one, and he's living off of it. He's living off it. This is a fucking army. This is an army. This is an army. He's coming to an army without even a knife.
Look, he popped his white cherry, okay?
That nigga got sex and all of a sudden thought he was Superman. I don't even know if they've had sex yet, honestly. I just know
Gilly didn't turn that ass off.
Gilly wore out the balls, okay?
You don't remember him saying, "Oh my.
Shit. She introduced him to the motherland.
So he walked by, and then he saw Tyrion, and they kind of changed the perspective to Tyrion's perspective. And Tyrion he's like, yeah, man, y'all just put me down in the crypt because I'm small. I should be out here fighting. That's what he looked like on his face.
He had that big energy, and they said, nigga, get your ass down there.
He was
Look,
mad.
if Lyanna could be out there, he can be too. That's probably what he was thinking. That little girl out here.
Yeah, the little bear. So then Bran rolls by with Theon and the Ironborn.
Rolls by.
Yeah.
And I love how they were doing the panoramic camera shots. They were just showing like. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
They were just showing
cut out. Damn, I had to edit that. All right, so they just showed. I like how we're doing the panoramic shots because they basically were just stunting on how much money they were spending on this episode.
I agree.
On everyone. So then, so they were on their way to God's Tree, and then you saw everybody get in formation, right?
So I had to realize this though, right? I didn't know that you had to go through the castle to get to this goddamn tree.
Yeah, they show that in the entrance every fucking episode.
Yeah,
Devin don't paying attention.
Again.
Stop being like that, Professor.
And thank you.
I'm sorry.
I was like,
he don't be paying attention.
what the? I was like, so that they got to go through the goddamn castle to get to the goddamn tree. I'm thinking it's a whole bunch of fucking space. Why can't you walk through the goddamn tree?
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. See, this is why I thought you took notes.
I was saying I had to learn.
Don't be paying attention.
I had to learn on the fly. I was like, oh, these motherfuckers got to walk through the castle and get to the tree.
I'll make Devin be the host one of these weeks and see how shit go.
Oh my god, can I be there? Because I'm gonna love it.
That train wreck is gonna be awesome.
It'd be like choo choo off the cliff.
Friends in Winterfell in a wheelchair, sipping on gin and juice.
So by the way, I have a soundboard, so I'm gonna be ODing that because I'm so happy I got it working.
Oh my
and
god.
so they were all everybody was lined up and ready to go, and it was like it felt like the beginning of like a game 7, like in a NBA series. And so why is my shit cutting out? And so I imagine this was playing in the background. You know this, Rashanii.
Oh shit. Everybody had GN because of that dude, that bald-headed black man.
This is long as shit to start. I didn't realize it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. This ain't a short song. They have to do the whole intro. They do everybody's intro with that song.
That was the Chicago Bulls shit from back in our day.
Not back in our day.
Back in our day. Although I'm the youngest one in the show for once. So
right?
You know,
it's like, wait, what?
Back in our day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore.
And so, didn't you see the Hound making his way up to the front? He fighting to get up front. And I was like, this nigga ready to fight. But
fuck that nigga, yo.
He caught his a little bit later.
What? Don't do that to Cocaine.
I was so disappointed in that man this whole episode.
He has a thing with fire. See, this is when you know Devin don't pay attention.
No.
He don't pay attention.
Fuck shit. No, not the fire shit. But
so
him like giving up on light shit.
Because of the fire. What we doing? Professor, talk to your pupil.
This is your man. This is your guy. You hype him up. This is what you get.
Actually, you hyped him up good, sir. You took notes.
I was proud of him.
Notes.
I am used to Devin going, oh shit, I ain't know that. Oh shit, I ain't know that.
What I'm saying to you is, I still was disappointed in that man for the effort.
Okay.
So then Sam, he makes his way up there, and Ed looks at him to talk shit to him as usual.
Like, you know why Sam's able to make his way all over the place? Because don't nobody fucking need him. Because he don't got a fucking weapon.
He had a weapon. He used some dragon glass.
Dragon glass, yeah.
You mad at him because he's not strong enough to wield that sword? He made the non-toxic masculinity decision. He goes, I'm not even going to front like I can swing this sword. I'm going to give it to somebody who can. You should be proud of him.
I'm not saying anything like that. I'm simply saying this. He should have stayed in the crib. That's really it. It's not.
He'd have died if he was in the crib.
He would have died if he was out there.
No, he would have got one. He would have got one of them crawling motherfuckers out the crib.
He would have got one and then died.
Well, yeah, he
my fluffy badass, and I'm still like, oh baby, no.
Charmaine's here.
Death and boobies, death and boobies, death and boobies.
Wait, what the hell kind of interest is that?
You don't know the Game of Thrones lyrics?
Apparently not.
It's death and boobies, death and boobies. And then you just keep
honestly, I wish we would have more dick shots.
Death and boobies, death and boobies, death and boobies.
Exactly. See, Rashanii knows.
Oh,
of course Rashanii knows. So
unkempt bush.
You probably would have seen more of that in that time period too. That's true.
Did you just say that time period? What time period is Game of Thrones?
1986.
A long time ago. They ain't got no electricity, so it ain't modern time. It ain't modern time. They ain't got no electricity.
1975. Look at the bush. That's what you know.
It's the like 14. It's like the Middle Ages.
So if there's any bush, it's pre-1975.
Yeah.
So
Cersei had. Yeah. Never mind.
Cersei had what? I know you have something to say.
No, let's just get back on track. Totally inappropriate.
Oh, this guy. Okay.
So when it's something that I censor myself for, just keep it pushing.
so then Jorah looked like he was leading the whole army. And I was like, look what they did to Grey Worm.
Leave Sir Jorah alone. Tired of your stuff.
Sir Jorah is the white version of I'll pay your rent.
Oh shit.
I'll buy your car. I'll be a gentleman. Soon as I get off this grayscale, I'll be your man. Your faithful protector.
Don't hate on Jorah. Jorah know what to do.
When Danny banned Jorah.
Jorah. No,
don't do that.
Jorah. And here's the reason. Jorah ain't even the baddest fucking Mormont in the fucking show. Fuck Jorah.
That is all facts. That's all facts.
When Danny banned Jorah, he was probably going home listening to Keith Sweat all day.
Hey, Danny, can I come back yet? There you go, telling me no again.
And so they had Ghost up there too. Although we ain't really see Ghost fight nobody.
I was about to say I ain't see him kill nobody.
He was just there. And then I was like, did you notice that they had the Dothraki in front and then the Unsullied second?
Yes, that's the first issue I had.
Get all these niggas out the way first. I was like,
the first issue I had was Operation Get Behind the Darkies.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, Rashanii! I said those exact same words.
She yelling, "Oh my God, Rashanii!"
Have you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation? I don't listen to hip hop.
Oh shit.
This is off the rails, Professor.
See, that's what happened though. The assassin was still alive in the North. They couldn't even when the dead's there.
You knew they were putting the niggas to the front. Every white person who looked at them and said, "You're going in the front. You're going in the front."
That was like a brave warrior, sir.
The only white person who went on that first initial run was Jorah.
It wasn't even the episode's intro wasn't even death and boobies this time. It was, I saw a black man. He can go stand on the front line. Niggas in the front, niggas in the front, niggas in the front. All the white folks stay back where it's safe. We're in the castle. They're in the front. Niggas in the front. Some boobies.
See.
Oh shit.
See, this is what you brought out, Steph. This is on you.
Single white person.
Wait, excuse me. That wasn't Stephanie. That was Sharmane walking in saying boobies and death.
This is
that
on
wasn't
you.
Stephanie. Stephanie don't be screaming about boobies. Stephanie screaming about dick.
Here, I'll put it in the chat. Death and boobies.
I can't even.
Don't be dreaming about boobies.
She
Stephanie be dreaming about dick.
Thank you.
I'm glad y'all know.
I was extremely disappointed with that. Like, come on now. Come on.
You're
I was disappointed.
Not dreaming about boobs?
No, not that. I'm talking about the fact that like Danny tried to act surprised that her dudes were at the front line. Like you didn't put them there.
I was proud of it.
It wasn't her plan.
Did you guys cover that yet?
No, because we got distracted by you talking about boobs.
Oh, sorry, boobies. Yeah, so you're not even gonna be able to see your guys from the ground. Just the people up in the wall can see the whites, but you're gonna still charge towards them, lose all that stamina.
That's because, like I said last episode, Jon is a horrible leader.
The horrible
leader. They shouldn't be behind him because he's a noble man, but he's not a smart man.
Yeah. The nigga forgot the primary rule, which is don't shoot till you see the whites.
Right.
You mean the whites of their eyes, right? No, I just mean the whites.
The whites,
you don't charge in until you see what they bringing out to you.
So then they showed Jon and Danny, and they on higher ground. I was like, this nigga not even fighting with his people. I said, why he need to be on the dragon? The dragons can fly by themselves. He should be down there fighting. Ain't that who he is?
Nope.
Look,
and at this point,
not no more.
Did he give his Valerian steel sword to somebody that could use down there? Or did he have it on the dragon for no reason?
And he just found out that he fucked his arm. The least he can do is be 8,000 feet in the air.
Nope.
He deserves that.
He thought he was going to stab the Night King in the air on the dragon, like never ending story.
Yep. He was on Falcor.
Brandon, you already know this is all never ending story with Jon Snow. That's what it is. Every time he gets on a dragon.
So then they got real quiet. Like the score, the composer of this episode was great.
Amazing.
The score was amazing. Yeah,
yes,
that's the only good part, I think.
They took all the sound. Here goes Sharmane.
Hold on. What's that? Pause for the cause. Sharmane, tell us how you feel about this episode. Then.
Clearly.
I mean, I have nothing really. Honestly, I have not too many positives. It's mostly complaints. I mean, the strategy, in terms of just pure warfare strategy, I learned how to be more strategic playing video games than this dude has learned in 8 seasons of being in the Game of Thrones.
Tell him why you mad, Ma.
Arya, as much as I love that she was the GOAT of the episode, Stealth 101, do not scream before you stab a nigga in the back. That she just comes in as it like Assassin's Creed, like
how fast was she running? Because that nigga's hair blew.
Right? You spent all that time being in the shadow, slick and fast, like a cat. Like, remember all the things that Pharrell used to tell her? Calm as still water, swift as a cat. Or am I thinking of the books? Did they do this in the show? I don't remember if they did the show.
You're thinking of the books.
It's
like
swift
swift
as
as
a
cat,
light as a
calm as
feather, and
still water.
stiff as a board.
No, not that.
Oh, my fault.
But she's supposed to be fast and stealthy, and then she comes in screaming as she's Air Arya, which that was the part that I loved. Why was Brandon gone for 15 minutes and then comes back just like, you're a good man, Theon, go run and kill yourself?
See, we got answers to all these questions in here.
Why did more
heroes
not die? Why did more heroes not die? Because seriously, George R.R. Martin says, if you think this is going to end well, you haven't been
listening to George because we all book.
Well,
this ain't the damn book.
Disrespecting the old man, ain't you?
That's right. Me and Steph on the same page. This ain't the damn book.
We are all
killing folks left and right.
You don't have nothing.
How you felt after the red wedding?
He don't have nothing to say. Like,
look, I cared more about Jorah and Theon than I cared about any of them dudes in the red wedding.
Oh yeah.
I care about Jorah. I don't care about Theon. I don't think Theon had that interesting of an arc as much as people like to give him more credit. I think Lyanna was GOAT number 2.
Yes.
I think it's terrible that they actually killed a few heroes, let them turn into whites, and then nobody has to confront their friend as a white.
That's right.
How do you miss a movie like that? So
I'll tell you right now, there's nothing worse than having to confront a white friend.
So Sharmane came. Skip Bayless Sharmane came in to the show.
Right. All over the place.
With the smoking hot takes.
Stop the show just to ask me how
Devin
I felt.
did that. He invited your Skip Bayless takes on here.
Right. Got your tepid takes on here.
This is
Bring the tepid takes on out.
Look, real talk though, in all honesty, y'all are gonna be living on a different plane than some of us because again, you saw it twice, Devin, and the second time you saw it was on a great TV with a great sound system. Brandon, you saw it on like some futuristic shit. So neither of y'all had that spotting issue that happened at the beginning. Brandon, you are literally the professor, so nothing like deters you. I've been doing reviews with you for almost a year now, and I still haven't heard you get mad about jack shit.
That's not true. I got mad at Superfly.
Oh man, you guys watch that? I couldn't even bring myself
Yes,
to
we
watch
did
that.
watch Superfly.
Yo, that shit was everything.
and Rashanii, I got mad at Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, I'll give you that.
That's true.
But look, there's. Let me Donald Trump this shit. There were good things and bad things about this show.
Yes.
I can see both sides.
No.
Except there's way more good than bad.
Thank you.
We're not going to have the undisputed Game of Thrones recap. So then they had everything went super quiet. Watch, my recap going to make y'all like it better too. Everything went super quiet. And then here comes Melisandre on horseback. Riding in. She came in like Willis Reed.
From the north.
She did.
The more north. She came in from the north.
So what? This is where you got to remember. Mm-hmm. She got the only god that do anything in the Game of Thrones.
The only god.
Lord of Light always come through.
I believe in her god.
The Lord of Light always come through. So I believe she could be anywhere and the Lord of Light was going to let her get to this point. He told her, this is your moment. You are made for this. She fucked up. She fucked up killing little Shireen and believing Stannis, but she got back on track.
But like, yo, so you want me to like all these seasons, and your only trick is your little pyro? Like you got a little pyro?
That's a big ass trick.
It's a pretty big trick.
And she brought Jon back from the dead.
Long and full of terrors.
You just gonna ignore she brought Jon back from the dead? You just forgot about that?
That's pretty.
And she was looking at Beric dying, and she's just like, he's done now.
I mean, he got brought back 19 times. That's enough.
Nigga dead now. We ain't got time for this.
And so they cut the Davos, and he was like, "This bitch, like this bitch." And
he had a sour puss face the whole episode, yo.
And he was ready to be a man of his word. I love Davos. He was like, I know we're in the middle of a battle, but I'm going to kill this bitch because I promised I would.
And so she told Jorah, so
she had to tell him straight out, nigga, don't worry about me. I'll be dead real soon. Focus the fuck up.
Yes, she did do that. That was funny.
I promise you I'll be dead before this night is over. Focus the fuck up, bro.
He was a magnet. He was her shadow towards the end because he was like, I'm gonna make sure she's a woman of her word. If not, I'm a man of mine.
Sharmane, he was looking at her like, if she don't die soon, I'm gonna kick one of her feet to the other and stab the shit out of her.
That's exactly how she.
That's one of my favorite moments.
So then she tells the Jorah to tell. She's like, "You speak their language?" He was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Tell them to lift their swords up." So then she starts saying some nonsense, and then their swords lit up, and then it was like everybody was all pumped and ready to go, and
she Phil Jackson that shit.
I said, Millicent, you could at least like show them your titties one last time. You just took them out for everybody in the whole damn show. At least give them some motivation.
She was good for him like the first 3 seasons.
That is correct.
So then they was all ready to go, and Davos was like, after that he was like, I mean, that's all right, but I'm still about to kill you. And so as soon as she left, this nigga Davos immediately left his post to go see where she was going. He didn't even. Come on. He left his post.
You ain't coming to his house. You ain't coming to his goddamn castle.
Of his word in chronological order.
No, you ain't coming to his goddamn castle.
To kill her.
I'm gonna stop this shit at the door. I was like, God damn.
And so
she roasted a kid.
Yeah, that's when she said, "I'm gonna be dead before dawn." And so then we got to start the battle, and
no, Brandon, you're not giving that the credence that it deserves. She literally told him, "I'll be dead before dawn," in the same way that I would tell a parent who's asking me why their kid doesn't get enough playing time to get the fuck off my dick. She told him, "I'm gonna be dead soon. Stop following me. Get off my dick, Davos." That's what happened.
And guess what?
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Yeah.
Cause you roasted a kid, bitch. Cause you roasted a kid.
Hey Devin, Davos was doing the little head twitch like Cliff Steele on Doom Patrol. He was doing the robot man thing.
It was.
He was like, "What the?" He's trying to process what happened. Like, you know how your dog hear a weird noise and they do the little head tilt? That's what Davos was doing. Like, what just happened? So then they go back and they show the whole big wide shot, and so you see the Dothraki like charging towards like nothing. It looked like it's nothing, and so then they close up, and then you see this big ass wall of like a swarm of the dead. And they just hit it, and everything went black.
Wait, but first you got to talk about how the lights slowly go out. Everybody's watching the flames, and then bloop 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 bloop.
Because we saw
send 10 people out there for thousands. Like, hey y'all, I need 20 volunteers to go out there and go look.
It's only 100,000 dead that we're aware of.
You only sent 20 people. What we doing? What did y'all think was gonna happen?
All of the Dothraki are dead now?
No, I don't think that was all of them.
They're not all dead.
Because all of the main ones, like the guys that have been kind of her Khalasar, or not Khalasar, what do they call her? Blood Riders?
Yeah, they did. The Blood Riders did. Gone. Yeah, they did. But not all of them are dead. Some of them, you see some of them at the end of the fight, still fighting. So then everything went dead silent. Like, you couldn't hear anything. Like, they just removed sound from the set.
That was beautiful.
And then them niggas started running back like Forrest Gump. Just
that shit was great.
As fast as fuck on a mission.
Man, you gotta keep in mind that for the folks who are like me who didn't read the books, y'all gotta keep in mind that the Dothraki have never been scared of shit. Like them niggas fight for a living. They kill for fun. They're like that Jamaican in Belly who was screaming in the fucking mansion. They murder for fun. That's what they do. They fight to the death to have fun, and they were running for their motherfucking lives.
And you saw the fear on their faces.
Even more than that, them horses kicked some of them niggas off of them. It was running back on their own.
The horses like, you're the one with the like blood oath and shit. I don't.
Yeah, the horses look like a wife who got pulled to a basketball game that didn't go well. Nigga, I didn't even want to be here.
I told you I didn't want to come.
Those Dothraki were cutting their own ponytails as they're running too. They're like, oh, fuck this shit.
Like, just take it, because I ain't going back out there. You think I'm going back out there? You got another thing coming, bitch. Did you see what's out there? No,
did they not make them Araks with dragon glass? Were they just out there with their regular ass Araks, knowing like good and
no? They had the fire.
I know that they had the fire,
but behind the rose. Oh wait,
but
that's the
Jon and Daenerys, nobody knew that they were going to be getting fire blades, so they basically said, listen, we know that dragon glass kills them. We know that Valerian steel kills them. We know that fire kills them. We know that swords got none of those
I think they were supposed to have dragon glass things.
No, they just had regular ass swords.
Regular ass Araks.
They had their old weapons.
You know what? They probably sent them out there just to die.
Operation Get Behind the Dark.
Listen, y'all look at it as a negative. I look at it as a positive. That's holding true. That's holding true to the source material. Them niggas racist. Of course they're gonna do that. If they came out and put the white people first, I'd be like, that's just fake. What you mean? Nobody would do that.
The only white people that they left up front was the former Grayscale, the handless dude, the big bitch, and her little buddy.
No, bitch is on the other side.
She wasn't out there.
She was in the back.
She wasn't behind she was on the other side of the wall. She was up on the hill to the right hand side. Remember, she walks Jamie up over there, and she says she's a little bit up on the hill.
By the way, these are all official nicknames now.
So then
y'all not gonna be calling Sir Brienne of Tarth no big bitch. She is Sir Brienne of fucking Tarth.
She's Sir Big Bitch.
Sir Big Bitch. You damn right. You are goddamn right.
No, we are calling her Sir Brienne.
That's a
respect on her.
Sir Big Bitch is a big bitch.
So then
you can call everybody else. No, not Sir Brienne.
See, somebody got a soft spot for Brienne.
Oh man,
girl. I mean, she worked damn hard to be a sir.
She didn't work hard at all to be a sir. Jamie just made her a sir.
Jamie was like, we all gonna die soon, and I don't want to fuck, so I'm just gonna make you a knight.
She pledged to Catelyn. Are you kidding me? Dealing with them. That punk ass.
Catelyn should have made her a sir then.
She has a knight's honor.
It's like, come on. She had to deal with Sansa ass for like 20-umpteen years. No.
Damn.
So did Catelyn. Nobody made her a fucking knight.
Look at fucking Steph caping right now. I see you, Steph.
Nah, I'm with Steph. So then, the best part of that was Jorah's face looking at Tormund when he rode by. And he rode by and shook his head like, "No, man, this wasn't a good idea." And he kept running.
Worse than when we were stuck on that lake, bitch.
He was like, "This is not a good idea." Listen, this is the same Jorah that was out on the boat with fucking Tyrion when Rockmen attacked him, and this nigga was running on a horse fast as shit away. It was like you know how when black people watch horror movies and they be like, "Nigga, don't go in there, don't do it." That was basically what Jorah was telling him.
You were talking to the screen?
He was telling the screen, "Don't go that way." So then Grey Worm put on his helmet, and that nigga don't got no fear. He was like, y'all scared? I ain't scared. The Unsullied weren't scared at all. They ain't had no fear.
Kill a tongue though, so.
The only fear he has is that he can't get back to that pussy. That's the only fear he got.
He can't except lick it.
You know what I'm saying?
He can probably scissor it. I don't know.
Shit, I got that same fear. I got the fear that I'm not gonna get to do it too. So I'm with him. I understand his motivation.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
That's right.
I just tag him out. I'm like, you're exhausted, Grey Worm. My turn.
I mean, I don't think too many people are turning down Missandei. So
no.
Nobody's turning down Missandei. Okay.
Goddamn Charmaine Bates over here.
Babies in the previous episode, but they don't count.
See?
We got Sharmane Bayless on the goddamn podcast. I love it.
Then they show you the big wide shot of the Army of the Dead. And I'm like, yo, there's way more than I thought. Like, there's so many of them.
So many of them.
Bro, if you can't even see, like, the little waves of them, it's just like a swarm. It's crazy because you couldn't see no space.
Look, the Night King was a much better general than Jon because he had them. Them niggas were dead and they had a plan.
They had a whole plan.
We're gonna bum rush them. We're gonna climb over top of them. We'll get to it later. But when they put the fire on, they were like, they stopped. It was like, let me think this through. They had a whole plan, and so
you think the Night King saw that? Because I do feel like the Night King can see through their eyes or whatever. He has to be able to see through their eyes. So he was like, well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna sacrifice these motherfuckers one by one, and then they made a fucking bridge.
Yeah, because he's a genius.
And I kept screaming, "Are they gonna make a dead bridge? Are they gonna make a dead bridge? They're making a dead bridge."
Then the Unsullied, they came up because the Dothraki was all running all over the place like scared people, and they was in like this super tight ass formation. So when the dead ran up on them, they just started climbing up over them because they was so tight. It was like a solid thing under them. It was like a wall or a floor.
Because the shields, yeah.
They were just so tight they could just climb up over them.
As a reminder, Danny, if she didn't have those dragons, she'd be up Schitt's Creek.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they gotta be up Schitt's Creek.
Everybody did.
That was her strategy. Y'all stand real close together, tight packed like you have everywhere else, and y'all gonna be just fine. And they got Molly the fuck whopped. And that was her strategy. Her and Jon, you can tell they're both Targaryens. They both have stupid-ass strategic plans.
Why didn't they take the dragons? Why didn't they take the dragons and start with the fire?
Yeah.
And burn them before everybody got there.
That the Night King kills dragons.
That's true, but he wasn't around.
But you don't know where the Night King is. You don't see generals, so you're not worried about the Night King. So you burn them motherfuckers up.
But that's the thing. Why like risk your dragons after he already got one?
But here's the thing. I wasn't mad at this dumbass strategy because they shut Tyrion out. He was already mad, so he wasn't really a part of this. Like, if you remember the strategy session, they basically told him to shut the fuck up.
They did.
And so they was up there talking to themselves, and them two niggas dumb. So I was like, yeah, this makes sense. This is exactly what they would do. They ain't listen to Tyrion. They kind of listen to Jorah. But he's not Barris and Selmy. He's just a nigga that loved Daenerys. So
all facts.
I was like, yeah, this makes sense. So then Brienne immediately got dogpiled by these dead niggas. And then Jaime came over and saved her ass. I was like, look at that. Look at Jaime.
With one goddamn hand. Still.
Listen, Jaime must have been practicing with that left hand because he's much better.
I just want to say, Stephanie, as a man of 39 years old, I can do a hell of a lot with one hand.
Okay.
You know what?
Goodbye. Good night.
It's death and boobies.
Real.
It's death and boobies.
Why
is Jaime out there with his heavy ass gold hand during a battle? It seems like it's probably not.
You don't need a hand.
I feel like he could use that to shield people off though, because it's not real.
But it seems like it's a little heavy, and he needs to move. And
somebody said, and it was brilliant to me. Why didn't they make him a dragon glass hand?
Wait, that would have been
that'd
good.
be cool.
While they're putting all this shit together,
my man Gendry can't do that. He ain't got time for that shit. I feel like
why? Because he got some ass.
Yes.
He made a billion things.
He's tired.
He is tired.
He is sleepy.
He didn't get the blueprints for the hand. You know what I mean? Nobody came in.
I already had to give him blueprints. You think they're just making a porcelain hand?
You don't know what he's doing.
So,
I'm just saying, if Jaime didn't come to him, how the fuck was Genji gonna know to make a fucking hand?
So then Danny got on the dragon and just started burning everyone. I was like, you burning your own people. You just burning anybody.
But
she handled that like a white woman, straight up.
Oh my God, they're in trouble! I'm gonna help. Fuck out of here.
It wasn't, oh my God, they're in trouble. It was, I'm fucking furious that all my men just died. I'm a ride.
Okay.
So then they start flying.
I'm furious that all my slaves that I don't call slaves just died. I'm a ride.
Slaves who have jobs.
I just saw that movie too, Sharmane, and that's why I love you like a play cousin.
And so then they start flying off to like keep burning people, and then the Night King was like, y'all got dragons? I got X-Men. And then Storm brought the weather in, and the ice storm came, and they couldn't see shit. And I was like, this
I couldn't
nigga
see
is
shit either. That's the second
this
commercial.
nigga is a brilliant strategist.
Brilliant.
Like the fuck, y'all need to hire him. Y'all shouldn't have killed him. Should have hired him to take down Cersei. That nigga's brilliant. And so I was like, yeah, they couldn't see shit. So then they finally showed Arya, and she looked up to Sansa. She was like, bitch, you are not meant for this. Go to the crypt now.
Yo, but Sansa's saying that shit in her eyes. Yo, her eyes and her lip was quivering, and like the detail and the silence of this shit was so masterfully done, yo.
Sansa was like, I want to be here with my people. She was like, listen, take this sword and go down there. She was like, but I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to use it. I was
was like, girl, if you don't go in there and make daddy a sandwich, get out of here.
She sounded like a valley girl from Clueless.
Stab them with the pointy end, you dumb fuck.
But that was a good callback.
Cut out a scene with Sansa and Tyrion fighting. They cut out a scene.
Good.
For time.
Good. It wouldn't have made sense. Who they going to fight? They was up there on top of the castle.
In the crypt.
Oh, in the crypt.
Yeah, Tyrion was going to fight in the crypt.
Oh, yeah, you kind of see it when they're standing behind that thing.
You see them ready to do it, and then nothing fucking happens. It didn't deliver on it. And they said, we cut it for time. You going to tell me after 55 days of shooting and 80-minute cut, you couldn't have thrown 3 more minutes in there to see Tyrion and Sansa to give us some reason to respect fucking Sansa? Give a chance.
I respect Sansa already.
I respect Sansa. She's the smartest one out of all them niggas.
Not actually. Cersei's the smartest one out of them niggas.
I mean on this side.
She stayed the fuck home.
Yeah, that's true. I mean on that side.
God damn. Yeah.
So then...
If Sansa survives this, I'm going to be so mad.
That's right. Sansa's smart. So then...
She's going to rise like a phoenix from the ashes.
Oh no.
That's right. Good job, Steph. Excellent job.
I appreciate that.
So then, see, you had me all messed up. So then, Brienne was like, Brienne was fighting, but she was grunting like Serena Williams on every time she swing. Just,
She always screams when she fights.
But she always screams.
She always
And Tormund was like, oh, so you're a screamer, huh?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's hope. Let me get some more of this giant's milk.
Shit.
So then Sam...
Hey, my man said he long and strong. He ain't worried about it.
Look, hey.
And then, of course, Sam was about to die before Ed came and saved his ass. And then for saving Sam, Ed was the first named character to die. Got his ass stabbed in the back.
Ed.
And Sam didn't even, avenge his friend, number one. And number two, he just ran.
That's right.
I mean, what's he want? That's
Sam is a professor.
They have a pact, though, that they would burn whoever fell so that none of them would become whites. They had a pact.
So what he's supposed to do?
He had time to burn it.
What are you talking about?
Hold on. Does he have a lighter and I missed that? Did he have a lighter in his back pocket? Hold on, y'all. Stop fighting. I need to
make sure that he didn't come back.
Sharmane.
He is a professor.
You better than that.
Girl.
He is a professor.
Listen, girl.
You don't care that Japanese side of your ass out of here with that shit. It's the Middle Ages, girl.
You know what the honor is? You know what the honor is? Staying alive so you can save everybody next time.
All right. Look, I will hurt him later. Look, I'm trying to live.
So then they went to the crypt, and Sansa was down there with all the women and children. And I looked around, and I saw 2 dudes, Tyrion and Varys. And so I said, if everybody on top of the world dies, and you got to rebuild civilization with these 2 niggas, one of them ain't got no dick.
Just one, because one of them don't got his parts.
Yeah.
That's a whole bunch of Tyrion Lannisters running around. That'll be an interesting little world.
And are they going to have dwarfism? Because it's a damn sure, it's a challenge. It's a percentage that's going to happen.
Some of them will and some of them won't. It depends on if the women are a carrier for it.
Yep.
So that would have been interesting. So then they go to an air battle, and Jon looked like he just got his dragon riding license in his first trip.
What the fuck he doing?
And his first trip was in a blizzard. Like you just turned 16, you just got your license, and then you driving home and a blizzard hit up. That's what happened with Jon. He all over the place, and he run into Danny. They almost nearly die and fall off.
Because I mean, nigga, if you bring fucking winter El Nino, nigga, what am I supposed to do?
Right then, at that moment, I was like, these niggas not gonna save the day. Neither one of these niggas saved the day. Is what I wrote that in my notes. I was like, neither one of these niggas is saving the day. I didn't know who was going to do it at that point, but I was like, neither one of these. Actually, I did know because I predicted it, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, you did. It wasn't as accurate, but you still.
I was close enough.
Yeah.
So then they all called for a retreat, and it was like, all right, yo, we fucked up. Everybody get back. And then this is when they started having decent strategy. When they was like, all right, let's get back. Everybody get inside the walls. We're going to put up the trench. Then we're going to light the trench. And then we're going to shoot arrows while they're trying to get across. I was like, oh, so y'all decided to have good strategy when Jon and Daenerys ain't around. I see what's going on here. And basically, Lady Mormont was telling these niggas what to do. She was in charge at this point.
She was so good.
And so then the Unsullied were basically like, you see what happened was we only got so much square footage in this in our property. And so y'all niggas gonna have to stay out there. So everybody else run inside. Unsullied's still out there on the other side of the trench. And them niggas was like, all right, we don't got no dicks. We might as well fight and die.
I mean, what else they supposed to do?
So they
not die.
They was out there, and then the Hound was getting chased by one of the whites, and Arya shot his ass with a flaming arrow and saved him. And I was like, look at it. I love this relationship with the Hound.
I love
Arya.
it too.
I do too.
It's so adorable. So then Grey Worm retreated, and he had to make a business decision. He was like, so these are my people, but I'm the most important one of these niggas. So, and he was like,
also, I think it was his job to pull that.
Yeah, he pulled back, but he left the rest of them niggas out there. And so they stayed out there.
No, I mean to pull the lever to flatten.
Oh, to pull the lever. Yeah, yeah.
Like, because in the previous episode, you see him practice it.
Yeah.
So I think it was his job to survive.
He told them to light the trench. So Davos is waving some shit. And I'm like, Davos, look in the sky, nigga. They can't see you.
They can't see shit.
Like, they can't see you. So Danny and Jon can't see anybody, so they can light the fucking trench. So then,
Pyromaniac.
and so I was like, how they don't have Jamie? Jamie should, before he left, he knew he was coming to fight. He should have stole some damn wildfire and brought that shit with him. This nigga ain't take shit from King's Landing to help these niggas in the fight, except him and his golden damn hand.
Nigga came empty-handed. We all saw it.
So then Melisandre came back out like Willis Reed in the 7th game in the finals, out of the locker room to try to light this shit, and she praying and she's praying and she's praying and nothing's happening. And her face is like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
I can't fucking have ED right now, nigga. Goddamn.
And then the Lord of Light was like, I'm not always there when you call. And light that shit up. And that fucking shit lit up and fire all the way around around the castle. And some of the whites jumped in it. And then next thing you know, all the niggas just stopped.
And then everybody thought that they had done something. And then the Night King was like, hold my motherfucking beer. And told them motherfuckers with his mind, yo, that fire ain't that hot. Y'all made out of ice. Just go ahead and lay down for a second. Take a rest, my nigga. You got this. We're going to ride for you no matter what. Just go ahead and lay down right there on them spikes, my nigga. Don't worry. We got you.
The Night King is Greg Popovich. He the best coach.
He is the best coach ever. Yeah.
If you can convince somebody to lay down on the fire, you got that work. Or else you got BDE.
And so then they go back to the crypt, and Tyrion, this nigga Tyrion is up there still talking about the goddamn Battle of Blackwater, yo.
Remember when we had that battle? No, nigga, we don't.
Tyrion was like,
we don't.
Tyrion was like when Uncle Rico was talking to Kip in Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah,
I can throw that football over those mountains.
Yeah, he was like,
it's like, sir, if you talk about that one little battle and that one little Blackwater.
Yeah,
one more time.
He's like, I can throw a football over the mountains. You watch. And she was like, listen, nigga, if you was up there, you'd be dead. This is why I like Sansa. Sansa just be telling these niggas, she don't give a fuck about your feelings.
With the stale face, too. Like, all stale face.
Y'all feelings.
She was like, if we was up there, we both would be dead, nigga. The most heroic thing we can do is look truth in the face and realize we ain't shit. We better off down here. And Tyrion was like, maybe we should have stayed married. And Sansa smiled at him, was like, "You were the best of them."
Tyrion's
dick was getting hard in the middle of the fight.
Yo, real talk. I was like, yo, Tyrion, like Sansa really felt like maybe I should have fucked him. Maybe I should have. I felt like she had that in her eyes.
But then she was like, yeah, but that shit wouldn't have worked out. And Tyrion was like, why not? And she was like, the dragon woman. And then Missandei in the Homegirl Hall of Fame.
Shade, oh my God, the shade of the century.
She in the Homegirl Hall of Fame. She came out and was like, yeah, you're right. It wouldn't have been a problem because we all would have been dead without the Dragon Queen. And I was like, look at her. Somebody need to tell Daenerys what she said. So she can get a promotion.
You better go ahead and stand for your queen, indentured servant. Go ahead.
She get a promotion. Shit. So then they go to the God Tree. We finally see Theon out there with Bran. And with like 15 Ironborn. It's like 15 Ironborn.
I call that nigga Robin Hood Greyjoy, yo.
The Karstark girl was out there too.
Oh, she was there?
Yeah, she was in that scene too.
And listen, Theon, I gotta admit, he been nice with the arrows for some seasons now.
Yeah.
So that would.
You know what would have been dope? Oh wait, I'll get to that at the end of the episode. Sorry.
I mean, Robin Hood Greyjoy was out here just shooting everybody with them arrows.
I wish they had let him do some sword work too, because in the books he's supposed to be a better swords person than Robb, and Robb is supposed to be better at swords than Jon.
See, here you go with the books.
Sorry,
we off book.
See, here you go. But that's a good insight. I'm just messing with you, Sharmane. So then
I'm not. We off book.
Oh shit.
I got too many analogies written down. So then Theon, he started apologizing again. And I'm like, this nigga apologizing like Lenny Williams, man. Just everybody he see, just crying to everybody. Telling him he's sorry. I shouldn't have done this.
He burned a kid.
Two kids.
Oh yeah,
two kids. So he's more terrible than a red woman.
And then Bran was
he betrayed his best friend and the family what raised him. So
he's an indentured servant. I'll allow it.
I was like, Devin will get this, but you know who Theon was, Devin? He was Reed Strucker on The Gifted.
Oh God, because he's just searching for a way to get redeemed.
Searching for a way to redeem someone. And then he gave his life to try to redeem himself, just like Reed Strucker. So then Bran was like, it's okay, Theon. Everything you did brought you to here. And I was like, is that really like making Theon supposed to feel better? Or
just
is it
absolving
like...
people? Like, it was okay. You had to be shitty so that you could be good now. It's all right. Fuck you.
Oh,
there's no such thing as forgiveness.
It is to him.
And
like, he did try to kill me. So, you're forgiven.
He fake killed him. Then he was like, I'm going to go now. And Theon was like, nigga, you're in a wheelchair. Where are you going?
How you gonna roll out?
Yo, I swear they better have a fucking callback to this shit in this prior episode to see what this nigga did. Cause I'm like, this is the most pointless shit. They better show me everything. Cause he could have got a dragon. He could have fucking,
Well, why wasn't he warging anything?
Like, yeah, he could have been in fucking, what's the White Wolf name?
See, y'all missed this whole thing. Bran, he did his job. I can't believe y'all didn't notice what happened. Okay.
What? So, okay, please tell me that.
We'll get to this. Bran did a lot. You'll see. He did everything to end this shit, but you'll see. So then,
someone shouldn't have to explain it to us. We should just know from seeing.
I just know from seeing.
Just let him go.
Yeah,
I got you. So then Bran warged the ravens, like these ravens, and then they flew off towards the Night King. Right, all right, so remember that. So then, back to the fight. The dead was like, all right, man, we've been standing here enough times. I'm tired of this. And so they start making a bridge of the dead. And then they cut to Jon, and he finally saw the Night King and went after that nigga. And he's flying away. Then they cut back, and not only did they make a dead man bridge, but they made a dead man ladder, too.
Yeah, they did.
A human dead ladder to climb the castle walls. That was an oxymoron. And Jaime was fucking people up that one good arm. He was killing like a bunch of them at that point. And then Jaime got dogpiled, and then Brienne came, and they was fighting back to back, like Iron Man and Pepper Potts. Spoiler on Avengers Endgame.
Oh my gosh!
And I was like, look at them. I wonder if they're gonna fuck sometime this season. That's what I thought immediately. And so then, of course, Sam get his ass about to die again. Like, how many times is he gonna die? He got, and I forget who saved him. Somebody saved his ass. So then they cut to the Hound, and he is in complete shock. Like, the Hound is just...
Yeah, he can't deal with all that fire and dead people.
All that fire was around him and all that dead people, and he was just like... He was not ready for that shit. And fucking then they show Arya. And Arya, listen, Arya's the smartest person in this bitch. Arya was like, all y'all niggas with these heavy ass swords, we gotta fight a bunch of dead people. You need something light and quick. So her weapon was quick and smooth that she could spin around and swing very easily, and she was fucking all them niggas up.
And she could separate it so that she can fight two-handed and put it back together. That's what was hot about her.
Yeah, she Darth Mauled.
That was the blueprint. Yeah.
And so then they cut back.
Did you see her roll down that body of dead?
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Oh, that was so dope.
So then they cut back to where the Hound was, and Beric ran on him, and he was like, "They're coming in here. You need to get up. They're coming in here." And the Hound was like,
"I don't give a fuck."
He was like, and she was like, "You don't?" He was like, "You don't? Well, you should care about her." And he pointed over to Arya, and Arya's like diving and ducking and rolling and shit, doing all types of fucking kung fu shit to get away from the whites. And then the Hound he snapped out of it because him and Arya got a connection. And so then the big ass giant rolled through, and I was like, "Oh, he about to wreck shop." And he basically tore down the trench so everybody could get through, like these little things that they had staked in the ground that was stopping them for a little bit. And he tore them down, and he was starting to fuck some shit up. And then, see, I got so many. This soundboard is fucking me up. And so then, and then the giant was about to run in, and he looked at Lady Mormont, and she grabbed her weapon and started charging that giant, and she was probably like,
"I go hard in the motherfucking paint, nigga. Leave you stankin', nigga. What the fuck you thinking, nigga?"
And that nigga grabbed her, and I was like, "Oh, she about to die." You heard the whole crush sound, like her bones crushing, and then in the foreshadow of the night,
having that shit though.
In the first foreshadow of the night, at the last minute, she fucking stabbed that fucking giant right in the eye, and that nigga crushed. And I was like, "Yes." I wrote, this is what I wrote down. I said, "She got a warrior's death," as Sharmane would say.
Yep.
See?
Yeah, I was perfect.
I was happy for her death. I thought it was appropriate. I mean, I wasn't happy she died. I was hoping she could last, but if she got to go, she went out hard.
I just want to pat myself on the back because I called that motherfucker was going to die like 2 weeks ago.
I said, "No more little bear. She's gone."
Little bear.
But like, yo, real talk, like that giant was fucking wrecking shop too. Like, so like she really like MVP of like the early war. Like,
I mean,
part of the battle.
Y'all keep saying that giant. That was fucking 1-1.
No, that wasn't 1-1.
Because one died on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, 1-1 already died. He got
they
killed.
Had more giants.
Yeah, they had more giants.
Yeah, they had more giants.
I ain't no smarty art bookie nigga like
y'all. I didn't read the books either. So then they go back to the Air Force, and Jon and Danny are up there. They're just chilling at this point.
Not the Air Force.
What are they doing?
And then they see
trying
the
to
Night
figure
King.
out if they could fuck on a dragon.
And the Night King dragon.
Spoiler alert! You can.
The Night King dragon got Godzilla breath, and he blowing that blue flame, and he was fucking them up. And then I was like, I still don't understand why these niggas need to be on the dragon. Just let the dragons fucking fight. And so then they cut back to inside the castle, and at this time, this is when Sharmane said she rolled down the army of the dead. But when she did that, she lost her weapon. Rolling down there, she didn't have her weapon, and so this is like this is my favorite part of the episode, because this is when it turned from like this big battle TV show to a suspense show. Like this was like full on like suspense thriller. So Arya's like in this library, and I was like, this is like one of those stealth missions in a video game, like in Batman Arkham Asylum, where you gotta be quiet and get everybody.
Fucking Metal Gear Solid and shit. Yeah.
And she's walking around and turning on the right time when they walk by and ducking on things. And then I was like, this shit is scary. Because at this point, I was like, yo, she might die, even though I think she's going to. I was like, right before this, I was like, she's going to kill she's going to kill the Night King. And then I saw this, I was like, oh, fuck, she's going to die. And then she threw some books to distract these dead people, and then she ran away.
That book was an MVP of the episode too.
And then she took off running, and then they go back to the crypt, and of course, Tyrion down there drinking wine. I was like, this nigga drinking, and this time, I was like, but I guess that's the time to drink.
That's the time to drink.
It is always time for wine. What we doing?
And
says the wine cream.
I'm just saying.
Wine cream in her hand.
Then you hear these niggas come banging on the door like, save me! Save me! And them niggas like, y'all getting that door? Everybody looked at each other like, no, we're not getting that door.
No, we ain't getting
y'all
that
heard something? Nope.
Yeah, we ain't getting that door. I'm sorry, guys. We ain't getting that door.
That's not good strategy opening that door.
We not here.
And at that point, I was like, listen, y'all tripping. If I was one of y'all niggas in the crypts, I wouldn't be in the crypts. I would have took a one-way flight to Essos. Like, send me to Essos on the beach where I don't got to deal with none of this shit. Like, this is what I understand. This is a little bit of tangent to me. But this is me in real life. I don't know how people live in, like, Canada. Like, the shitty parts of Canada, not like Toronto. But, like, how you live in Canada and North Dakota. Like, I would never live there.
Saskatchewan is cold as a bitch.
My great uncle and bunch of my cousins live up in Bobcaygeon, Ontario, which is 4 hours north of Toronto. You got to fly to Toronto and then catch a bus. Not a bus, a van, a van, and get all the way up to Bobcaygeon, and it is just a ice lake and like 4 stores, and they live up there. And I was calling when I had signal. I was calling my friend, being like, "Make up an emergency so I can fly home early, because this is nonsense."
I don't understand it. I'm like, yo, I know they got artists back this time because we seen it on the show. Somebody had to go to like Essos and like draw a picture of the beach and come back to the north and be like, yo, this is what they got over there. And how did like immediately everybody not just move? Like
what are we doing here?
This ain't a time with like real jobs. Everybody just do like regular shit. You can go get that same job in fucking Dorne. Go live in Dorne. So like they
y'all
don't have
more sex if y'all were in Dorne.
Maybe they got
use soap there.
Maybe they got like Trump immigration rules. So they don't let these Northerners come.
Nope.
So and
don't want y'all dirty dicks here.
And so then Beric and the Hound come in the castle looking for Arya, and one of the wives is about to kill Arya, and he knocked through the door, and Beric threw his sword to save her, and I said, he about to die. As soon as he threw his sword, I was like, he gonna die. And
we knew he was gonna go during this battle, though. He
jumped in, saved Arya. Arya was like, God damn, I can't believe I had you on my list, man. Thank you. That's basically what she was saying. And then Melisandre, then they ran into another room and locked the door. And Melisandre was right there waiting, coming out the cut. Like, she's like, I know you. And she was like, yeah, I know you. And the Lord of Light brought him back for a purpose, and he just fulfilled his purpose. And she was like, you told me I was going to kill people with different eyes. And Melisandre was like, yep. Brown eyes, green eyes, and blue eyes. So at this point, I'm on Twitter, and I'm like, how does anybody not know what's going to happen at this point?
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't know what was going to happen there, then you just weren't paying attention.
Right.
And so then she was like, what do we say to the god of death? And Arya was like, not today.
Not today, motherfucker. Oh, my God.
Brandon, I got that shirt coming for you.
That has got me
the Air Arya shirt?
Dark moments in my life.
No, the not today shirt.
And she rolled off, and I was like, yes, my prediction is correct. I was being mad selfish. I was like, I'm right.
I'm right.
Arya did like that Cam Newton meme when he picked up his helmet off the bench. I was like, all right, let's go out here. That's basically what she did. So then they went back to the God tree, and they finally, the whites finally making their way towards Bran. And I'm like, yo, it's been like an hour. Y'all just making your way towards Bran. But, see, what y'all ain't notice about what Bran was doing is when he walked into them ravens, he went out and he flew past the Night King. And then the Night King saw them ravens, and that's when he made his way towards the castle. And then after he landed,
we saw that. That was obvious, but that doesn't mean that was a significant contribution.
And then after he landed, I will get to, but after he landed and got done fucking with, after Daenerys thought she hit the game-winning shot, and he was just standing there like, nah, nigga, you ain't win. The ravens flew by again. And then that's when he went towards the tree. The whole time Bran was doing that to make the Night King come towards him at the right time. Because he could see the future and he knew Arya was going to kill him.
Right, I get that, but I'm saying.
So that was the whole point.
That was the least amount of work he could have done all night.
Thank you, Charmaine.
But he wasn't supposed to be fighting. He was always going to be the bait.
That was his whole thing.
That was the whole purpose.
That was his whole purpose.
We knew that
so
was
he
his
can't.
purpose.
What else can bait?
So he fulfilled his purpose.
Do nothing. Right.
What y'all wanted him to do?
Bait.
Like warg a dragon and start fighting people?
I was hoping we could have seen more of what he was seeing the whole time.
Right.
He is the peanut butter on the trap.
But if you saw what he was seeing, then you would have known the ending.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. You're right. I get you on that. But
at least that's how I took it.
I know. I just wanted him to do his fucking third eye Jaden shit with something else. That's all.
He doing this.
And then the Night King made his big ass entrance, just destroying the fucking castle. And then the two dragons fight, and then Drogon comes out of nowhere and is like, "I'm y'all big brother. I'm bigger than both of y'all niggas," and fucked up the Night King's dragon, knocked that nigga off to the ground. I was like, that nigga is not even hurt.
I was expecting that that Drogon and Rhaegal seeing, is it Viserion?
Mm-hmm.
The Night King's dragon at that point. I was expecting them to be more fucked up by seeing their brother fucked up.
But didn't they see him when he turned?
No, they didn't see him when he turned. They only saw him die, and when they saw him die, they cried out, and it was like this huge, like gut-wrenching, emotional scene. So I was expecting them to be flying around, and they see their dead brother, and they were like, "What the fuck?" and start screaming again. I thought it was going to be a part of the fucking up the balance of the war is them seeing their brother dead and being fucked up by it, but they didn't do that because shitty writers.
I see. That's a good point. Then Drogon starts scratching that nigga face and rip half his face off, and that fucking dragon looked scary as shit with half a face.
It looked real good. It was that was some solid CGI right there.
And then Danny see the Night King just standing there, and I'm like, Danny,
my man going for the gold medal.
If he's just standing there, clearly your fire ain't gonna fuck with him. She was like, burn his ass, basically, in whatever fucking language she speaks to the direct fucking dragons. The dragons just rain fire on this nigga.
Valerian.
And then the Night King just smirked at that nigga, like, that's all you got? Then he walked over all the dead people and raised his arms up like the Undertaker, and all the fucking dead rose up. And
why did Jon Snow fucking take his fucking goddamn sword off and run with his sword? I feel like you running faster without the sword in your hand, sir.
You know what I'm saying? God damn it.
That shit make me so mad. Like, oh my God, I was so mad.
Because Jon is not smart. Y'all been watching this show for 8 years. He don't ever do shit smart.
I know, but that don't mean that he basically he's had time to learn to be smarter than he fucking is.
Has he?
Yes, he's had time.
He did get resurrected.
When has he learned anything? He knows nothing. Jon Snow knows nothing.
You know nothing, Jon Snow. That's the motto of the series.
Literally.
But he can't learn shit.
Obviously not.
His
how you gonna be the one and be dumb? Like, seriously, how are you the Jesus of the operation, but you dumb as dog shit?
He is the noble one. He needs people around him to be smart.
Noble people aren't always smart.
Mm-hmm.
They just noble.
I guess.
And then all the dead raised up, and Ed raised up, and the little bear rose up.
Little bear. She was such a cute little white.
And the Night King was like, yeah, fuck you, Jon. I'm out. You can deal with these niggas. And just walked away.
Again, showing his brilliance on the battlefield.
And this is when the Ravens flew by again. And so then they went back to the crypt, and
Jon does say, Brand! Like, because he knows that the Night King's going to Brand right now.
Yeah, but like a fucking blind monkey could have known that he was going to Bran right then.
Right.
So then I called it on the show last week that they were going to raise them dead Starks. And they rose them Starks in the crypts, and I was like, these niggas about to get fucked up. I was like, this is going full horror movie now. Like, in the crypt, and then they go back to the Black God Tree, and Theon is fucking these niggas up with these arrows. Just and not
he's the
missing
last
shit.
guy alive.
Yeah, and then he run out of arrows. He start fucking niggas up. Like, did they make his his bow out of dragon glass or something? Because
the arrowheads had dragon glass, but they wouldn't make any difference to have the bow made out of dragon glass.
He had a bow staff. Like I guess he had a bow staff.
Oh yeah,
like
he did
Arya,
have a bow staff. That's right. Yeah, and he
had a bow staff like Arya because he was fucking them niggas up.
I was like, yo, whatever cardio plan Theon was on, I need to get on that because he was fighting all them whites by himself.
All of them should have been exhausted.
Yeah, they was getting fucked up. But, they in shape. All they do is walk everywhere. They don't got cars and shit. They just walk and fight. They're in fighting shape, as they say, as the fighters say. And then the dead, Danny shows back up to save Jon and start burning these whites that was all around him. And then the dead, then Danny, because she's dumb too, she brings Drogon low as shit. And then all the fucking whites just jump on him. And bring Drogon to the... Is Rashanii still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I told you I'll be listening because there's a shit ton of us here.
But we... see, I know you'll come in the right time.
So, oh, yeah,
I know you'll come in. I'm not even worried about it. And then, they were stabbing the shit out of Drogon. And he starts...
Fucking him up.
He starts shaking like, you know how dogs, when they get a bath and they get wet and they just start shaking uncontrollably? That's what Drogon was doing and knocked Danny off of him. And then Danny was about to die. And then, of course, here comes Jorah to save the day and save him. And Jorah, at this point, Jorah was like, listen.
He is the Joe of this daggone
He is the Joe.
Series.
Yes, he is the Joe. He's like, I am going to die for you, honey. I'm going to give my life for you.
All the things your man won't do. All the things your man won't do.
Nah, y'all close, but y'all ain't singing the right things. When he showed up, that nigga literally showed up mouthing the words, "Is it my turn to take an arrow for you?
It's
You knew I loved you, but you didn't care. You bitch."
And so then Jon started running off towards Bran, and he saw Sam getting fucked up. He looked at Sam. He was like, "It's been good, nigga," and just kept running.
He shrugged.
He's like, "It's been good." And the Ironborn got overrun, so Theon was the only one left. And then he was like LeBron James on the Cavs with no help, just fighting all the whites by himself for a long ass time. Yeah. So then they cut to Jorah, and Danny actually picked up a
Danny
dagger.
Fucking learned some shit
fighting.
from Count Drogo. Danny out here. She know how to
fight.
And
I said, that's why she better than Jon.
What do you
she
mean?
picked something
Her
up.
fight, her throwing her sword was terrible.
It don't fucking matter. She was killing motherfuckers, wasn't she?
Okay.
She a
So
queen.
you saying Sansa's gonna do that shit? No.
She was letting him get stabbed, and then she would stab the white.
No, she used that nigga's bait because that's what that nigga want to be the bait.
That's
Boom.
right.
He is the cheese. The cheese don't talk.
So then we got a real cute, adorable scene with Tyrion and Sansa. By the way, I was watching Inside the NBA. This nigga Shaq kept calling him Tyrone. And I'm like, that's so fucking funny. Oh my god, that shit was funny. He kept calling that nigga Tyrone. But yeah, Tyrion and Sansa were hiding behind the crypt, and they both looked scared as shit. But then I was like, but they seem to be calming each other down. And so then Tyrion looked at her and grabbed her hand, and kissed it. And it was like one of them, like, I'm about to go die for you, honey. I love you. And then they cut away, and I guess this is the scene Sharmane was talking about when they was fucking shit up. But then they cut to the whites, and at this point, the whites was taking over. They built the whole 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. And Jon and the crew, they was hoping to find, like, the Infinity Stone so they could snap these niggas away because they didn't have no chance. It was nothing left.
They knew they was done.
And Bran,
Targaryen, man, that man blood, he don't never get no types of burn marks on him, like blue flame, red flame, like nah, none of that shit.
So then Jaime, Tormund, Sam, Jorah, they all about to die. Like they all getting overrun. And so then the Night King, he started rolling up on Bran. And look, they show all the whites that's dead around Theon. It's like 150 of them. Just dead all around
Yeah,
there.
and how could he do that with just arrows?
But I think those were the ones that was dead the whole time from all of them fighting. Not just him. And then Bran came back because he did his job. He got the Night King to here, and he was like, Theon, you're a good man. Thank you. Theon was like, you telling me I'm dead? God damn it.
Yep. that's what he
and
then
said. This part was also low key important. Theon, instead of like standing by Bran, he ran towards the Night King and got his ass killed in 5 seconds, but a very important 5 seconds.
Yeah, because that distance, because he ran a great deal. He ran a distance.
So Night King had to dispose of his ass and just, flicked him off to the side.
Swiftly.
And then the Night King saw Bran, and he started like Deion Sanders high-stepping towards the end zone. And the evil dragon rolled up on Jon with his half face and looked like he was about to eat. I was like, why don't you just blow him with fire? It looked like he wanted to eat him. Like, I want to send a message. I'm going to eat your ass. And then they come back to the Night King. And Night King was like at the 1 yard line, about to score a touchdown, but he looked off to the side to talk shit to somebody on the sideline. And as soon as he did that, reaching for his damn sword, here come Arya, jumping out of nowhere, screaming like Sharmane was saying. And I was like, I'm right. I was like, I said this when I was watching. I was like, I was right. And everyone was just about to die. And Arya did the Michael Jordan switch hands thing and dropped the damn Valyrian steel. No, was it the Valyrian steel or the
that was
the
the
dagger.
Valyrian steel.
It was Littlefinger's dagger, right?
It was Littlefinger's dagger. It's Valyrian steel.
Littlefinger's dagger.
It's the one that Bran gave her.
Yep, and she dropped that exactly, Stephanie. It's the one that Bran gave her, and she dropped that shit and stabbed that nigga, and he blew up. And
that's not the first time we've seen that move used. Who used that move before?
She used it when she was sparring
Gamora
with Brienne. Yes,
she had done that before.
Gamora.
Okay.
Oh, Gamora did that too. Yes, that's true.
Gamora did that. Yeah, that's correct.
We were talking about.
Well, here's the problem about that scene. Besides that, she screams at her. The Night King grabs her by the throat. He should be burning her with his cold hand thing, like Bran got burnt, but that doesn't happen. And also, he knows everything that's happening. He's strategic as fuck, but he couldn't prepare for her dropping her dagger, catching it with a hand, and stabbing him in the stomach.
I mean, I don't know if that's something you prepare for.
That's not something
I feel like the whole point of that is that people don't prepare for that.
Right.
I don't know.
That's why it's effective.
When he's thousands of years old.
It's because
it was when they were still warging. It wasn't like in real life.
He still recognizes her.
Yeah, but he's still I assume that if he touches anybody,
but that was when they were warging. That wasn't.
Yeah, they were warging. That wasn't in real life.
But early on in the show, he touches a baby, and the baby turns into a white just by touching it.
Well, I think he was doing some magic. Like Scarlet Witch can touch people, but she don't always use her powers every time she touches somebody.
Right.
I feel like that's just his powers.
Yeah.
And he probably thought, this little ass girl, like, what the fuck she gonna do to me? Like, that's probably what he thought. And then, but Arya was like, he was basically like playing the DMX. What's my name? Stabbed him, dead. Then all the fucking whites started crumbling and falling out.
Like Jon said they would.
And because that was the one thing he got right, but that was so obvious. And
Is
then,
it though?
Yeah,
it's so obvious. They already knew.
Yeah, they already knew that.
That was the whole point of them getting the dragon glass and the Valyrian steel. That was.
But I'm saying that he's the one who said that.
Yeah, when Sam killed the White Walker by old boy's cabin, wherever that place was.
But what I'm saying is that nobody knew that if you killed the Night King, it would kill all of them.
Yeah, that was the one thing Jon
that's
got
part of
right.
their strategy conversation. That was part of their whole.
What I'm saying is that Jon's
the one who brought it up.
Jon's the one who said that.
Yeah, Jon
that
did
was
say that.
His idea. He was the one who said we really need to go after the Night King because if we get him, then all of them are going to go.
Yeah, Jon got it right.
Because he knew the general were controlled by the Night King.
Yeah, he knew that because, but here's the thing. That was kind of obvious because he rose them all from the dead. So
he said the line, these are all been made by the Night King, so you have to get to the Night King to end it. So basically everybody in that strategy meeting in the previous episode all knew that was the goal.
Because he's the one who said it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not debating that he's the one who said it, but you kept saying nobody knew, and I'm like, yeah, but they all knew because he told them before. Like, they've all been informed.
What I'm saying is before he's the one who said it. He's the one who came up with the idea.
Yeah.
Everybody just was just stabbing.
The only reason the rest of them knew is because he said it.
Because he said it.
Yeah, I'm not debating that at all. What I'm debating is like they've known this before.
Steph, he
the
did
battle.
something
No,
right.
he didn't. No, they didn't.
Yeah,
Remember,
because they talked about it.
Nobody
they
knew
talked about it in the
White Walker.
strategy meeting. They talked about it in the strategy meeting
Because he's the one who told them.
And he talked about it last season when he went to
He
Dragonstone.
did. You keep saying he. I'm saying give Jon his props.
Yes.
I just want to say,
That's what I'm
he
saying.
did something
You're
right. I
telling
know.
me to
Thank
say
you.
John instead of the word he? That's what we're fighting about
Yes.
right now?
He
But
wants
nobody is
Wow.
fighting. What I'm saying
Give
is
Jon
give
his
Jon
credit.
his props.
He's not a terrible leader in all
Exactly.
regards. He
well,
knew
he's still
something.
a terrible leader, but he
Still a
got one
terrible
thing
leader.
right. He got one thing right.
I just want to point out that at any given moment, that motherfucker could have just, made some arrows out of dragon glass and had somebody snipe the shit out of the Night King.
Night King would have just knocked that shit out the air.
Would he?
Yeah, because
Yes.
He's done it before.
done it before.
You had to distract him though. See, what they should have done is had somebody hide behind the tree the whole time, and then when he turned around, when he turned around, give Bran the arrow and Bran shoot him in the back.
Because I think the Night King was expecting Jon. That's why he was trying to get rid of Jon, but he wasn't expecting Arya.
He wasn't expecting Arya.
I wanted that
Nobody
Night
expects
King.
Arya.
But you
Like,
know,
the Night King never took his sword out.
So
he
there's
never fucking took his sword.
So there's 3 guys that are real in Game of Thrones. So it's the Lord of Light, it's the many-faced god, because his shit worked, and it's the 3-eyed Raven.
Yeah.
The rest of them, they don't do nothing. Like what's the one with the dude that got blown up by Cersei? The
High Sparrow.
The High Sparrow.
So that's the 7, the old gods.
Yeah, they old. They out of commission because they don't never do nothing. But the Lord of Light, listen, if I was them, I'd have been like right in Lord of Light church the next morning. So then Drogon, go ahead.
Cersei, I'm gonna keep saying it too. She's the smartest motherfucker in this show. She didn't lose nobody.
Okay, hold on, Rashanii.
Army.
Do you think Cersei's gonna win?
If she doesn't win against that depleted ass army, the fucking Unsullied are gone. The other ones, whatever I forgot what the name is.
Dothraki.
The Dothraki are gone. 2 of the dragons are gone.
Yeah.
No. None of the dragons
they're both
died.
in there.
Both of the dragons alive.
Both the dragons still alive.
You see him in the trailer of the next episode. Even though they don't show you what happens to Rhaegal, he survives.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't show.
I was asking.
If they don't show you a body, I assume he alive. And we saw Drogon.
Because Cersei is a smart, sinister, bloodthirsty, evil motherfucker.
He ain't got no dragons though.
Okay, so here's the question, Rashanii. If I told you to put money on it, who is going to be sitting on the throne at the end of the season?
Arya.
It's impossible though.
It's gonna end up being Jon because that's what white people want.
Yep. That's gonna happen.
All right.
I'll tell you, if the Japanese wrote the Game of Thrones, Jon would be sitting on that throne. Jon would get right to the about to sit down, and someone would come and shank him, and then his blood would be on the chair, and then they'd scooch his body over, and they'd sit down and be like, "Deal with it."
See, why are you so anti-happy ending?
It's not that I'm anti-happy ending necessarily. There's certain happy endings that, okay, here's the thing. I don't necessarily think survival is the happiest ending. I don't necessarily think that happily ever after, the love thing, is necessarily the happiest ending. I think a warrior's death could be a really happy ending.
Yeah, but getting the rug pulled out of you is not happy in nobody's ending.
That's not a happy ending. But I've been watching Japanese melodrama since I was a little one. And this is how it plays out. The good guy dies only after his entire family is slaughtered. The woman he loves is raped and murdered in front of him, and he's got literally nothing left to live for. But he feels like he's supposed to avenge. And then the bad guy's like, "You don't get that either." Pop, and then he's gone. And this is what I've been raised on.
And then that's how it ends.
Pretty much. And I don't know how this like American thing of just like everybody has to survive, and the story they've been telling you the whole time, Jon is the one, and then he's the one. Like, get the fuck out of here. Give me something that can surprise me. That's what it is. It's not necessarily an unhappy ending. It's just that they've been waving their hand in one direction and then they surprise you with a punch in the face of the other hand. That is more of an exciting ending to me than, Jesus ending up on a throne.
All right, so
that's what he is.
We had your opinion, Stephanie, in the beginning of the season. Now, 3 episodes in, who do you think is going to end up on the throne?
Well, I think that Danny's more of a Jesus figure than Jon is, but...
Yes, I would agree.
She's more of a Jesus figure. She's the breaker of chains. She's the unburnt. She's more of a, she's got all these people
walked
follow
through
her.
the fire.
Yeah. So I think it honestly is probably still going to end up being Danny.
Okay.
But in an ideal world, it's probably unpopular. It should be Sansa.
Yes, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think it should be Sansa.
It should be her. I'm sorry. Sansa. That's the thing. She don't make too many bad moves.
No, Sansa is the smartest person there.
I would have wasted all these years watching this show if Sansa ends up on that throne.
Hating the smart one. Look at you.
I mean, it's not hating the smart one. It's hating the one that took 5 seasons until she woke up. 5 seasons.
She was like 14.
She was a kid.
Arya was 10, 11.
But she also trained as an assassin. Sansa was raped for like months or years.
God damn, yeah.
You don't think Arya's been raped at some point at this point just because you didn't see it on camera? Like, the Game of Thrones is a dirty ass.
What's on camera? We're not focusing on what's not on camera.
Damn right.
We've all suffered. We've all suffered.
Who raped Arya then? Who do you think raped her?
Right. It's like, can we focus?
Well, she was a little girl, so I think she's in unsavory spaces, and when she was on Bravos and training, you can just assume some bad shit happened to her.
We're focusing on
I feel like if somebody ran up on Arya, she was killing them.
That's what I felt like.
She's been an assassin for God knows how long.
Unless you think the Hound did it. But
no,
for
I
everything
think
we tell,
the Hound didn't, because he definitely said he could do it, and they never did.
Did
so
say that.
I don't think he did.
No, the Hound protected her, so nothing happened to her during that time.
During that time, yeah. I'm just saying, they've all suffered. I've suffered. It don't mean that she earned it because I've been raped too. I'm not sitting on no throne. That's all I'm saying.
Sansa is a genius.
I'm sorry, she's a strategist. She's the smart one. It should be her.
I feel like it's gonna be her, but I don't want it to be her. Like
and that's always been her dream.
Sansa is the Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes. Thank you, Sharmane, for saying
she's not that bad.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she's awful. She's terrible.
Devin, who do you think is going to be on the throne?
I really just wanted to be clean and go ahead and be Jon. But I feel like it's going to be...
Jon don't even want to be king. Why people want him to be king? He don't even want
it. I know, but finally he'll...
He's a nigga at work that keep getting promoted and don't be... Who's like, I don't want this job.
Don't know what his job is.
Yeah.
I don't want this job. Why do y'all keep promoting me? I'm not even doing any hard work.
But, he is the
mediocre white man. He's the mediocre...
I wouldn't say he's mediocre.
I'm saying
the impossible mediocre.
Yes.
No, what I'm saying is everybody has that one person at work, that mediocre white man that is mediocre but still keep getting promoted. And you're like, how the hell does he keep getting promoted? That's Jon Snow.
I agree.
I feel like Jon is like the good NBA player that don't want to be famous. And he's like, y'all keep making me famous, but like I don't talk at the press conferences.
Retired from what's the? It's the light-skinned guy that retired. Like what? Yes,
Tim Duncan?
Who?
Tim Duncan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, him.
Yes.
He's Tim Duncan.
Jon is Tim Duncan. He's great at what he does, and so he should just stick to what he does. He don't need to come out there trying to jump from the free throw line.
But I think he's just going to be like Sansa. He's going to give it to Sansa.
So do y'all think? So going to next week, Sharmane, do you think? So next week is probably going to be an episode that is a filler that fills in the time between when they march on King's Landing and the aftermath of the battle. So one of the big questions that a lot of people are having online is, does Sansa go to King's Landing with everybody, or does she stay back in the north?
I feel like if they had a regular length season, she would have hung back in Winterfell. But because there's only 3 episodes left, I think it's possible she's going to be there.
I agree.
Next question for you, Sharmane. Do you think that now that they won the war, that Jon and Danny tell everybody? No, do Jon and Danny tell everybody about the truth, or do they keep it between themselves? What
I'm really worried about, this is what's going to make me turn against Game of Thrones if this is what they end up doing. They have allowed Danny to be the opposite of Cersei this whole time. It's Batman and Joker, right? They're the foils of each other, basically. They and all this time she's been this altruistic, for the most part, hero and all this kind of stuff. And then she finds out that her nephew boyfriend is her nephew boyfriend, and she goes instant angry. And like I've been saying, they're probably going to make her go Mad Queen. This will be a huge problem. If they make her go Mad Queen, this will be a huge problem, given that they've allowed her to be this sort of like female leader character that we could all look up to kind of shit.
Hold on, Sharmane.
I'm going to get to what my thing is, though.
No, I got a question about that. Aren't you the same person who likes The Killing Joke? Isn't that the whole story of The Killing Joke?
That background stuff that it's kind of affected my feelings about it. But yeah, up until recently, yeah.
But isn't that the same story of The Killing Joke with Batman and the Joker? And then at the end, they're sitting there laughing together, being crazy, and then they imply that Batman kills him like the Joker would?
Kinda, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that, except that
And I
Daenerys
agree with you. I was just messing with
you. And Cersei don't really have that direct connection, with the exception of the one scene we've seen them together. But what I'm afraid of is they're gonna make Dany go full Mad Queen, which basically means now we got 2 fucking Cerseis, and it's either gonna be a scene like in Last Stand where she's gonna realize she's got the Targaryen madness, and she's gonna be like, Jon, you have to kill me. Or like that's gonna be her way of being still good Dany, is that she has to beg to be killed because she's got mad tendencies. Or if they were just smart, they would balance the force, marry, and just be like, we're gonna share the fucking 7 kingdoms together as a balanced unit. But I don't think that's what's gonna happen.
So we had Reese from the Introverted Nerd podcast, and she was full on the Mad Queen train. But she says they've been laying the groundwork for it since season 2. Is what she said.
Have been. Little bits and pieces.
That would be decent storytelling if they did that.
It would disappoint, because then we won't have that altruistic woman character, because Sansa's not necessarily.
But isn't there Brienne?
Brienne, but Brienne's not sitting on the throne. We're not all here gonna be like, oh, Brienne's probably gonna be it. You know what I'm saying? It has to be one of the ones that have the crack at the throne.
Okay, I think, see what you're saying.
With the multiple usurping situation, it really doesn't fucking matter if Jon is the male heir to the throne, because the throne's been usurped 3 times since then. So really, there's really not a destined heir to the throne necessarily, unless you're going to make a claim that the Lord of Light wants this dead fire ward to sit on the throne.
That's true.
Which the dead's not supposed to do that. So Jon should not sit on the throne, but they're teasing him to sit on the throne. Dany might have mad Targaryen disease, so she might not have it. Cersei's fucking crazy. Cersei, at this point, Cersei would be my happy Japanese ending if Cersei wins it, because she has played the game.
She has. You're absolutely right.
True.
The reason why I don't think Sansa's worried for it, okay, stay with me on this one. I know you're caping for Sansa, I'm not saying this with hate. I'm saying this with direct Game of Thrones-ness.
Okay.
Ned Stark says, "He who passes judgment swings the sword." They are fucking Starks. They have been hearing this their whole life. Sansa sits up in that big lady chair, passes the sentence, Arya swings the sword. Who's the person who, between the two of them, that would deserve it more? Who is more worthy of the throne?
Sansa.
Sansa failed.
Sansa. See, you're making these like one issue. You're like the one issue voter. You're like, I don't really fuck with Trump, but he ain't gonna.
Him and them immigrants.
Sansa failed. She knows that the pack survives. She states that the pack survives. She is all about the one.
That's right, because she is the one.
Steph. She is the least worthy Stark next to Bran.
Steph, next week, do you think we're going to see anything followed up on Bronn coming after Jaime and Tyrion?
I really hope that next week is a quiet episode, because after all of that, I think it's going to be mostly about, I think next week is going to be mostly about strategy. You're going to see like what exactly was, Cersei's strategy. What is like the aftermath of God knows what happened at night, because of course this is pitch black, so they can't see everything. Now the sun is coming up, and now they have to look like, fuck, we got to rebuild Winterfell now.
Do you think we're going to see Winterfell at all, or do you think it's going to be all King's
they
Landing
definitely show.
No, it's going
to
show
Winterfell.
Yeah, because from the trailer, they're still in Winterfell.
Right,
so
right.
We're going to see it.
See the dragons. I forgot.
Yeah, so we're going to see it. So now it's like the aftermath of Winterfell. Like, crap, we really have to rebuild it. So I don't think Sansa's going to go to King's Landing, because somebody has to stay there and rebuild it.
Does
Stark always have to be in Winterfell. That's right.
Devin, that's what I was about to ask you.
But say, does Euron have a chance? Because Euron, you saw him get on his knee, and he wanted the queen, and Euron all about himself.
His ass. Yara is going to
he's going to die.
His ass up.
He's a plot point for Cersei.
So you're not cheering for Euron and Cersei to hook up?
Oh, fuck him.
Sharmane?
Nah.
No?
I want to see it.
I am cheering for Yara to slice his throat, skin him alive.
Oh,
when are we going to see the Clegane Bowl?
Whoop, I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, we're going to see that. That's probably going to be
episode 5.
Episode
4th
5.
episode? Yeah. Or episode 5?
Yeah, we're going to see that.
Is it 6 episodes for this season or 7?
Yep, only 6.
Yeah.
So now that here's the thing,
no.
I predicted that Arya was going to kill Cersei, but that's not happening now, because they're not going to give her Cersei and the Night King.
It's going to be Jaime.
Yeah. So it's got to be Jaime now.
It's going to be Jaime.
Or Tyrion. It could be Tyrion.
Yo, I want it to be Tyrion, though.
I would prefer it to be Tyrion at this point.
I would prefer it to be Jaime.
You know what?
Because Tyrion's going to do it in a poetic way.
But a lot of people think Tyrion is going to turn on them and help Cersei. That's a prediction, too.
How many times can he just believe in his sister before you be like,
well, Tyrion's whole thing is family.
Yeah.
That's always been his soft spot, the entire series.
Tree has an idea that Arya kills Jaime, takes his face, and then kills Cersei as Jaime, so that we get the satisfaction of both Arya and Jaime.
Yo, check time traveling hub out. I'm doing him, yo.
But at this point, I don't think she's gonna kill Jaime, because Jaime fought in the battle. So
yes, I don't think so at this point either.
Mm-mm.
But before the Battle of Winterfell, that was the idea.
All right. Anything else you guys got?
Nope. Can't wait for next week, man. I'm excited about it.
All right. Sharmane, tell everybody what you got on your podcast docket this week.
This week, I failed at, I had a corrupted file, so I failed for Militantly Mixed, so I admit my failure. And then we're going to fail for Blurred Comics, because Blurred Vision didn't tell me till today he has a baseball tournament. So we'll be recording our Avengers Endgame review and time travel lesson tomorrow night. So our episode's going to go up a little bit late on that. And that's what we got for this week.
And Steph, what about you and Mocha Minutes?
So this week, we actually recorded last week. So that came out on Tuesday. And we mostly just talked about stuff happening in colleges. Mm-hmm. So I had, the guys from Why So Serious, and I had Sharmane from Militantly Mixed. And can I just say, Michael talked a whole lot. I was very, very impressed.
Was it the alcohol?
No. Right. And that's the thing. He said he couldn't handle it. So I don't know if it was the alcohol, but, he's been getting notes like, dude, you need to, speak more.
Yeah, he was really talkative. I was wondering.
Yeah, so I'm very proud of Michael and his white shenanigans.
All right, so make sure you check us out on the Mocha Minutes podcast, and Sharmane will be back with Militantly Mixed, and she's gonna do Blurred Comics this week too. So go subscribe to those. As always, we'll be back next week. Hopefully, Lauren will be back next week. Might have another guest next week for episode 4 of Game of Thrones. So just make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere you get your podcasts at. Leave us a 5-star review. And thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you later.